Long ago, in the mighty kingdom of Babylon, there lived a man whose faith in God could not be shaken. His name was Daniel. He was not the strongest man in the kingdom, nor did he command an army. But Daniel possessed something far greater: unwavering faith in the living God. Scene 2. Daniel served faithfully in the royal court. He was wise, honest, disciplined, and trustworthy. The king recognized something different about him. Daniel did his work with excellence, and no one could find corruption or dishonesty in him. Scene 3. As the years passed, Daniel rose higher and higher in the kingdom. The king considered giving him authority over the entire kingdom. Scene 4. But Daniel's success created jealousy. Other officials watched him carefully, searching for something they could use against him. Scene 5. They searched his work. They examined his decisions. They looked for dishonesty, corruption, or anything that could destroy his reputation. Scene 6. But they found nothing. Daniel was faithful in everything he did. Scene 7. Finally, they realized there was only one way they could attack him. They knew that Daniel loved God and prayed to him every day. Scene 8. So they went to the king with a plan. They convinced him to make a new law declaring that for 30 days, nobody could pray to any god or person except the king. Scene 9. The king agreed and signed the decree. Once the law was signed, it could not easily be changed. Scene 10. When Daniel heard about the new law, he did not panic. He did not run away. He did not hide his faith. Scene 11. Daniel went to his house, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, knelt down, and prayed to God just as he had all. But Daniel valued his relationship with God more than his own safety. Scene 13. His enemies saw him praying and immediately returned to the king. Scene 14. They reminded the king about the law he had signed. Then they told him that Daniel had broken the decree. Scene 15. The king was deeply troubled. He respected Daniel and did not want him to die. Scene 16. All day, the king searched for a way to save Daniel. But the officials reminded him that the law could not be changed. Scene 17. Finally, the king gave the order. Daniel was taken away. Scene 18. The guards led Daniel toward the lion's den. The king looked at him with sorrow and said, "May your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you." Scene 19. Daniel was thrown into the den. A massive stone was placed over the entrance, and the king sealed it. Scene 20. The darkness surrounded Daniel. Around him were hungry lions. Above him was a sealed entrance. To everyone watching, it appeared that Daniel's story had come to an end. Scene 21. But Daniel was not alone. Scene 22. While the lions surrounded him, Daniel continued to trust God. He did not know how God would save him, but he believed that God was able. Scene 23. And then, in the darkness of the den, something miraculous happened. God sent his angel to protect Daniel. Scene 24. The lions that should have attacked Daniel became completely calm. Their mouths were shut, and Daniel remained unharmed. Scene 25. Outside the den, the king could not sleep. He refused food. He could not enjoy music or entertainment. His thoughts were with Daniel. Scene 26. All through the night, the king wondered whether Daniel was still alive. Scene 27. As the first light of morning appeared, the king immediately got up. Scene 28. He hurried toward the lion's den. His heart was filled with fear and hope. Scene 29. When he reached the den, the king cried out, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" Scene 30. For a moment, there was silence. Scene 31. Then, from inside the den, Daniel answered. Scene 32. May the king live forever. My God sent his angel, and he shut the mouths of the lions. They have not hurt me. Scene 33. The king could hardly believe what he was hearing. Daniel was alive. Scene 34. The king ordered the stone to be removed. The people gathered around as Daniel was brought out of the den. Scene 35. Everyone looked at Daniel in amazement. There was not a wound on him because he had trusted in his God. Scene 36. The king rejoiced because the man he loved and respected had been saved. Scene 37. Daniel stood before the king alive and unharmed, while the lions remained behind him. Scene 38. The king realized that Daniel's God was truly the living God, the God who rescues and saves. Scene 39. Daniel's faith had been tested by fire, by fear, and by the lions. But his faith had not failed. Scene 40. And that is the lesson of Daniel's story. Sometimes you may find yourself surrounded by your own lions. Fear, problems, rejection, disappointment, or impossible situations. But never forget what Daniel knew. God is still with you in the darkness.